Good morning on day 3 of our journey through Israel. Thank you for coming along with us. This morning we are standing at the top of the Mount of Beatitudes where Jesus preached the famous Sermon on the Mount in Matthew chapter 5 through 7. In the background you can see the Galilee Sea where we were yesterday. And we will sit here and go through the passage where Jesus taught. This isn't the exact area, they don't know exactly, just somewhere on top of this mount. But it's really neat just to stand here. We are in the town of Capernaum, a place known in the Bible for where Jesus did many, many miracles. This right here is a 4th century synagogue church that was built on top of a 1st century synagogue church. So this is still very old, and underneath you can see the remains of some of the very 1st century church. Just a really cool place to see. Come with us inside. In this very spot, when the first synagogue was here, is a town and area where we see many miracles that Jesus did, like the healing of Jairus' daughter, and where the 4 let down the sick of palsy through the roof in this very town of Capernaum. In the background here, you see an old olive oil press. As you can see, there's like 2 stones, so one stone went on top of the olive and pressed them in, and then they had a donkey with the wooden beam spinning it and pressing it. And what we know today as the extra virgin olive oil would have been the first press. And then as they did the second, it would have been just the virgin olive oil. And then the remainder, the 3rd press, they always did 3 presses. The 3rd one was just the oil that they used for their lamps or for skincare.
I'll go around this side.
Peter's mother-in-law's house. This is the city of Bethshean. For the biblical parts of it that you would recognize is this is the city where they captured Saul's and his son's bodies after they were killed and took them and hung them on a wall up on that hill. And that's when the Gileadites came and got his body and gave him proper burial. The latrine for the amphitheater.
This kind of a fountain.
So they would all sit in here, in between the gaps like toilets.
No.
They sat like this. Walking down the old street.
Palladius Street's
Oh, Palladius Street. This is the cave where the shepherds in 1947 found the Dead Sea Scrolls. Qumran. This is They were looking for their sheep that were missing, and they threw a rock in there and heard a shatter. They realized it was not normal, and it was clay pots. And then they found the biggest discovery that was most important was the book of Isaiah. Some of these areas are where when they wrote the Dead Sea Scrolls were like resided. There's a group of 140 to 160 men that came and they cleansed in these pools and wrote down the scrolls. And this is the potter's workshop. It's like a kiln. It's there preserved. In the far distance is the Dead Sea. That's why it's called the Dead Sea Scrolls. We are here at the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea is 33% salt, whereas like the ocean's only 3%, so you just float. The Dead Sea is also the lowest point on Earth. It's like over 1,000 feet below sea level. Here at the Dead Sea, all the salt, it builds up on any like objects in the water, especially metal, and like makes solid. It looks like ice crystals.
How does it feel to float?
Weird. I feel like slimy all over. Like it feels like, yeah, it's like very slimy. Nothing burns out. I have to dry my hands from you.
Oh.
I'm sorry. You float all the time anyways.
It's
Ugh.
hard to get back down.